I actually make the pack pretty thick there because it goes across in the middle, and that's structurally what helps.
The cable clamp came with those short the bolts with one of them was
I'm sorry. I should have probably I actually don't even have the right long screws for those. So it's stupid, I guess, the way I did it. And actually the 2 other packs I've got right now have them on like that too, where it's enough to hold the ribbon the clamp on, but not with a ribbon cable.
Okay. So from my perspective, when I'm looking at it, you've got the filler tubes. I think that's what they're called. One of them is tapped, one of them isn't. The top and the bottom barbs, the tubes, one of each is tapped, drilled and tapped. The other 2 are too big. Then there's the valve. One of them is tapped, one of them isn't, and then the cable clamp is again. So I'm looking at it going, I paid for this, and that's not done.
I misunderstood. I thought you had been researching how to build the pack, and I thought you drilled the 1/4-inch holes.
I've built packs before, not to this standard, not to your quality, of course, but drilling and tapping with the barbs and things like that. That seems like with Max shells, and from speaking to people who built Max shells, that's the advice I've been given, because obviously I was new to this. I sought advice. The
advice you're given is, well, going on screen accuracy with what is considered actually correct would be just to do the 1/4-inch holes.
But I wasn't aware that these barbs weren't meant to be tapped, when some of them were, some of them weren't. Same with the
well, I apologize for the confusion there. And it's silly. Like the barbs again are just aesthetic. I like the way they look. It's silly, but they get covered up, so they don't serve any purpose, and they actually fuck up the way the tubes work. If you look, your injector tubes are not going to go with the way the bumper is, way it sits. They're going to go too straight, and then they're going to jot out. So those barbs are actually not helpful. I put them in pictures sometimes because I like the way they look. I'll stick them on the parts. Whatever. I like to fuck around, but.
And I think most people do from speaking to friends and that sort of thing. So there was that issue with the tap. I was really frustrated with that. But then it's certain things like sort of the issue with the fiberglass around the edges.
Yeah, that's.
The bumper, there's a chunk out of the bumper, and
well, hold on. What do you tell me what you think about the fiberglass? Because there seems to be some education that needs to happen.
Some education.
Yeah, as far as like how fiberglass works, what the tolerances are.
When I did put this on the community and showed other people prior to get a.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to talk that too. Yeah. Right.
I'm confused. Am I wrong? Am I seeing this wrong? The whole reaction has been, no, that's pulling away. That's not been reinforced properly.
It's not pulling away.
Okay. It certainly does, and I can see that you've filled parts of it with resin.
Yeah, where necessary. And I told you if it made you nervous, you could fill it in. I did not say you should. Because it's right against an aluminum motherboard that's a 1/4-inch.
But there are
okay. So if you don't like it, like the inside isn't as pretty as you want, like we could discuss that before I shipped it, right?
Pardon?
I sent a lot of pictures of the inside. I mean, over 100 pictures.
There's one photo of the inside I've gone through, and the one photo on the inside.
One video.
Not the inside. Not the inside, and also, you've got to be thinking. I can't see the edges of that shell in that detail.
Okay. Well, I understand that. Okay. So I understand that you don't like the edges.
No, it's not that I don't like the edges, Tom. And the feedback I have had before coming to you with that as well was, from certain people, and also the unanimous opinion from the community was that is not right at all, and it doesn't look right. It looks like it's coming off. It's not reinforced. There's little chips starting to appear where it isn't reinforced.
It's
But there is
molecularly one piece. You need to understand this is an epoxy system. It is a chemical process. It is one piece. It's similar to welding metal, where if you have aluminum and you weld it together, it becomes one piece. There's nothing to separate, because this is not like David shells where you use urethane and some other, the polyester, and it comes apart. This is one thing. And what I was trying to explain was, what you're looking at is this. Yeah. Okay, no, but I understand. I understand you don't like that. And I'm sorry, I should have taken better pictures of the inside of the shell. I had spent, the 3 weeks probably working on all the painting and the rest of it, and making your parts specifically the way you wanted.
And that's why you charge the price you do, because the amount of work you put in, and that's that's understandable, and that's not my issue. The issue is that we're.
Oh, I heard that it was. Somebody said that you were like, I don't know. I'm not on. Oh, you know that though. I'm not on social media.
Yeah, and you've got a site.
We talked about it. That I'm not on Facebook. I don't have time for that. But
I don't really remember that conversation. But
so what? What do you? I told you I would try and help you however I could.
Let's go through the.
I don't have the pictures of the damage from the shipping, so it's hard for me to justify.
No, the damage from the shipping is, as I've already mentioned, that's not something I've complained. The original. Okay, so let me start a second.
You told people about the damage, though. Right? Like the shipping damage. I mean, obviously you said at least that much, because I didn't.
Yeah. I said there was superficial damage. I said, but that wasn't an issue.
Oh, all right.
That wasn't an issue. But that was the first thing we discussed. The issue was the fiberglassing. The fact that several of those holes that I was under the impression I had paid to have drilled and tapped, because it wasn't clarified at any point that some of them will be drilled and tapped and some of them won't.
If you look through the emails, it's clarified. I said exactly what each thing was for, and I broke it down multiple times because I felt like you might have been confused. So I kept going back, and that's why I called you again, because I was like, I want to make crystal clear. Do you remember me saying that?
No.
And I brought it. Remember we talked about David's aluminum one?
We talked a lot. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, we talked, and I said that is not how it works. You don't just have beautiful aluminum underneath. It's the same thing as taking sandpaper. It's the same thing as taking sandpaper and scratching the paint off a car hood. You're not going to have pretty aluminum underneath. You're going to need to do a lot of very specialized work to get a chrome finish.
Yeah, no.
Months of works. Like.
No, Tom. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the holes.
Yeah, the holes. You got to look closer at that email where it breaks down everything, because I didn't charge you $200 for holes. I really hope you didn't tell anybody I charged you $200 for holes.
$200 for the installation, drilling, and tapping.
It was a whole bunch of stuff. I finished your parts. I drilled all the holes. I made sure everything was installed, sanded, fit correctly, redid stuff for you that you didn't like.
Tom, the cable clamp is another example of something that wasn't drilled and tapped properly.
The cable clamp
is with the fiberglassing, which has been a unanimous vote by everybody who's seen it.
Yeah, let me ask you that, Tom. How many people are we talking about here that don't have an understanding of fiberglassing, but now think that my stuff is garbage? I got to ask you, what does that cost me? What kind of value can you put on that? Because it feels kind of fucking irreparable, Tom. Okay, if I'm being honest with you. I worked really hard on your stuff.
Can I address that then?
Yeah.
Because you messaged me and said what you had to say, that you didn't appreciate me coming back and saying that I had a problem with certain cracks and issues with fiberglass. I came back to you with a response and said, I'm not calling it your integrity into question. I'm not calling your artistic merit into question. I'm saying...
Well, you were mad that you didn't get anything for free. Do you remember?
Oh, no,
you got pretty bitter about it.
Tom, please do not put words in my mouth. That is
No, that's in the text. I'll screenshot it.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No.
Give me just a minute.
Can I finish?
Yeah. I'm gonna just screenshot it while you're doing it.
That's fine. But the point I make, in regards to me saying I didn't get anything for free, was because you were going, you've had the deal of a lifetime.
Yeah, because I spent way more time than I charged you. I redid parts for you. I gave you tutorials. I taught you all kinds of stuff about Ghostbusters, and you made it clear to me that that didn't have any value. That was just assumed.
You need to let me reply.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You need to let me reply. You've accused me, or you said either the deal of the century, and I've gone, hang on a minute, Tom, for perspective here, okay? I have paid you over £2,000, so I don't know what that is in dollars, in total, okay? It's a premium price, and I feel there's issues with the pack, which there is, and this is what other people have said, that's not okay.
Yeah, we're going to weigh that against, we'll have to weigh that, right?
Right.
Tom, you played that card, right? So we got to weigh that against...
Tom, you're
not
letting me.
No, I am.
Please give me a chance.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I believe with the amount of money I've spent, that I'm entitled to say, do you know what, there's issues with the fiberglassing. Not all these pilot holes have been drilled and tapped correctly, which I've paid for. And now you're saying that isn't the case, but that wasn't brought to my attention at the time. So I've come back and said, actually, Tom, I think I'm entitled to bring up certain issues that I have with it, including there being an irregularity with the holes that I paid you to tap or drill or whatever it is.
Okay.
Plus, there are other issues with the fiberglassing where it's not been fiber, and I've not seen. And you know, I don't have your education on your expertise, but I've never included Max shells. I've seen the old GV fans shells, because a friend has got one of those. I've seen Proton Prop shells.
Okay.
They're all fiberglassed into the edges, and everybody that has seen this has said, that is not okay. And it isn't.
Okay.
And you're right, you're saying it one piece, but that doesn't mean that the middle supports the edges that aren't reinforced by fiberglass, which is why I'm assuming you used...
They're not double. They're not double reinforced by fiberglass. There is fiberglass behind this. There's fiberglass behind it.
Tom, you didn't come back and tell me that. I responded to you with quite a polite and sort of a concise response where I addressed all of your issues, but I said, Tom, I don't appreciate being told that I've had the deal of the century and that I have no right to bring these things up.
I never said you don't have any right. I've spent more time with you than any other customer. By a lot. There's been a lot of going in circles, too, with the aluminum stuff.
Right. I've paid an awful lot, so I think I have the right to say, do you know what, this isn't right. I'm
Okay.
not happy with this, I'm happy with that. Okay? You were very offended. Okay? That's how you felt about it. I didn't want to offend you, and I came back and told you that afterwards. Look, I don't want to offend you. I don't want to fall out with you, I said. But I would like to address this because I'm not happy, because there are things that I feel I've paid for that I haven't got.